I think that she will say the best thing to do is ensure the old parties, the establishment parties, all of which is really rhetorical, should not be in government. And then she will fail to put the fragmented left into a disciplined, cohesive unit, and Sinn Féin are a disciplined, cohesive unit from the top down. So I think they will be left with a situation that Fine Gael want to go into opposition. Simon Harris will be the new leader, and he would relish the opportunity of, from the opposition benches, ideologically and economically taking on a Sinn Féin administration. So I think you're going to find by a period, a process of arithmetic, a process of Fianna Fáil feeling that the supply and confidence did not work. They did worse in 2020 than 2016. They're going to conclude they're better off in government, making decisions, and even house training Sinn Féin. And so, therefore, they will say to their people, they will say to the business community, the farming community, to the property classes, we are going to be your anchor to put the restrainers on Sinn Féin. The other thing I would say to people is that.
So sorry, so you're saying, you're quite clear on this. You're saying that you see Sinn Féin Fianna Fáil coalition then?
Yes, absolutely. I think first of all it will give a stable majority. I think, let's be clear, what are Sinn Féin? If you cut them, what do they bleed? And I think they bleed one thing, and that is to be in government north and south, and within 5 years to have a border poll. The thing that has motivated them all their adult lives is a vision of a united Ireland, a vision of a unitary state, and everything is subservient to that. And as long as Fianna Fáil sign up to a border poll within 5 years, I don't actually see an obstacle, because I think everything else is pragmatic and politics. But the other point I would make is this. I'm around long enough, over 40 years in these affairs, not to understand that the permanent government, the civil service, and Sean Cromeen, a former Secretary General of the department, a classic Sir Humphrey of the Department of Finance, said to me when I was appointed finance spokesperson, he brought me into a sitting room, lovely deep carpet, cup of tea, to get a briefing on the overall situation on his in-tray. And he said, Deputy Yates, before I say anything to you, can I just say this? It doesn't matter if a communist walks through that door. The advice will be the same, and the outcome will be pretty much the same. So the point I'm making is, don't rule out when Sinn Féin come with certain proposals, they will be told, well, go ahead, but that won't work. And I do think it'll be ameliorated. But it is a valid question, beyond the political punditry, what type of government will it be?
And you know the recent, just to go back slightly to the formation of the government, the recent increase in the number of seats really is going to have no material impact, basically, on your.
No, the situation is, on my specific arithmetic, there of the 14 extra seats, I could see Sinn Féin winning 14 of them, but they would have won seats in what would have been the old Parliament. But let's be clear. Everything going back to Tully's gerrymander in the 70s with the Cosgrave government, every redraw does not materially affect the outcome of a PR-based multi-seat constituency election. It affects individuals, it affects the geography of what town gets TDs, but does it affect the Dáil arithmetic in terms of party strength? No.
Okay. And then, okay, so they're in government, just going forward again a little bit further in time, they're in government with Fianna Fáil. Fianna Fáil is led by whom then?
Well, this is a really, the biggest imponderable I have between now and then is, and sorry, let's be clear, when you cut Fianna Fáil, what they bleed is aspirant blue-collar working class to make them middle class. They're not, and that reflects in pensioners. They have always been in that space, and they feel that Sinn Féin is eating their lunch. They feel they have more in common with Sinn Féin than they do with Fine Gael, who are essentially quite blue rinse, middle class, farming, and so on. So actually, a lot of Fianna Fáil TDs and senators, if you speak to them, would feel more comfortable with Sinn Féin than they would with Fine Gael. But that being said, Fine Gael are heading for the hills anyway. Retirements are going to decimate them and their performance in the election because, as the Labour Party found, once an individual TD, Brendan Griffin, Joe McHugh, Richard Bruton, not to speak of someone like Michael Ring or other people who may yet decide to go, John Paul Phelan, a lot of the vote is tied up in that individual, and it's very hard to do succession planning. So, what I see is imponderable. I thought it was very straightforward, Eddie. I thought what was going to happen was Fianna Fáil have the EU commissionership. The new EU Commission takes its seat after the European elections in June 2024, and I assumed that the perfect scenario and script would be that Micheál Martin would finalise his political career by going to Brussels, become a senior vice president of the Commission, get a decent sort of titular portfolio, and happy days. And Fianna Fáil would have an orderly succession. He's there since 2011. He has done his bit. He has saved Fianna Fáil from a near-death experience. He's been Taoiseach. Like, what more is there to do? But my sources, Eddie, human nature comes into this, tells me what he really wants is not to be commissioner, but to be president after Michael D. Higgins, which is in 2025. And the situation is, I think he feels if he goes to Brussels, he excludes that possibility. I don't know if that's true or not, because I don't see him being irrelevant, and I don't see him having any negativity. If he leads Fianna Fáil into a bad election, it may have negativity. In terms of the succession race, I think there are what I would say 2.5 candidates.